Second take. Good afternoon, Ken. Silver Creek Realty, Mirror Pro Mortgage. How are you guys? I looked at a HUD home today. It's on Juniper Street in Nampa. Price points $279. These lower price points are fun sometimes. A lot of first-time buyers call in and they want to talk about, hey, what's the most least expensive house that I could buy that I could live in? Well, let's take a look. This house right here on Zillow is $279. It's over on the HUD Home store. Let's take a look at that. Here it is on HUD Home and 2904 Juniper. And the list price is $279. And let's just go back to where we're at. So I just checked this house on the multiple listing service and it is back on the market. So someone's bid got accepted. The house went pending. They looked at the house and decided it was going to take more monies to repair it, or it didn't work for them, whatever. They canceled their contract. They had a certain amount of days in their contract which they could inspect the house, probably 5. And they probably inspected it and decided that, hey, they didn't want it for whatever reason. So this house is a foreclosure, and some foreclosures are rougher than others. This particular house does need a lot of repair, and HUD lists those repairs. When you ask a realtor, hey, do you have the sheet which HUD provides that shows what the house needs? And hey, I'm a realtor, I have that sheet, so let me show it to you. It's not here, but it's not there. Hang on. Oh, right here, the property condition report. So the property condition report, after they have the house inspected, this is what they think it needs, or what was going on with the house. They couldn't get the heating and air conditioning unit to work. It didn't have a thermostat. And they checked the wiring and tested okay. It was functional. They used a generator. It does have a stove and a range. It's recommended disposing of refrigerator and stove. It was pretty used. The water supply is okay. The sink's okay. It says cold water supply to washer hookup not connected. This house has a washer and a dryer along with a refrigerator, which is not common for a HUD home. And even the stove is not common, but there wasn't a lot of value because they're pretty well used. Water heater has been drained. It looks like that they poured antifreeze in the trap, so if we had a freeze night, it wouldn't freeze any of the plumbing because the house is not heated. No one's living in it, so it'll become the ambient temperature of the outside. And the roof says no visible roof leaks, roof repairs appears to be in fair condition. So this is an opinion. I would suggest that you make your own opinions on it. Let's look at the next paper that HUD provides you. This is the property listing disclosure, and has your HUD case number there, the address, and this is the repairs. So you can use a repair escrow on the purchase of a HUD home. So up to $10,000, excuse me, $10,000 of the purchase price over and above is kept back for you to repair the house, and it keeps it in title company, keeps it. And when the agreed upon repairs are done, the contractor submits it and title pays him a check. So if it needed $10,000 or $9,000 in flooring and $1,000 in plumbing, those checks would be cut from title directly to the contractor. In this particular house, the thermostat and air conditioning need repairs. The siding, the drywall, the lights and fan unit, the subfloor repair and floor covering, and the shower, rub rails, and shower units. They were pretty rough. Might be able to get them painted. I'd probably replace them. Subfloor definitely had some soft spots in it. Again, you need a contractor to look at it. And this is what they say. This house can't go for the escrow repair loan because repairs could exceed $18,000 for post-closing repairs. So then you need a renovation loan. Renovation loans, the easy renovation loans go up to $40,000. You can, of course, get past that. But at 40,000. They keep back 5,000 for in case you go over. So you have about 35,000 with 5,000 in reserves out of 40. About 35,000 to use to fix these problems. What you do is you get bids. It's going to cost this much to replace the subfloor, this much for the shower units, drywall, and paint. And then you get approved for that loan. And the close of escrow, you have that money for repairs. The contractor does them and is again paid, this time not out of the escrow company. It's paid actually from the lending bank. And that's how these little repair escrows, not the repair escrows, but the renovation loans work. Let's go down here a little bit further. There is an HOA associated with the subject buyer. Conduct all due diligence to make sure the HOA doesn't have, any liens or anything against the house on the title work. So when you have the title done on this house, they check the HOA, contact them and make sure, and then they insure it, get the extended warranty. All HUD homes are sold as is. HUD will not make any repairs nor allow the purchaser to complete any repairs prior to closing. For your protection, get a home inspection. So you're not going to go in there and be able to do any repairs to get it to pass, maybe get a repair escrow loan instead of the renovation loan. HUD won't let you do that. Utility activation request, submitting the offer after contract execution must be approved by HUD's field service manager. So in some cases where the plumbing or electrical deficiencies exist, approval for activation may be denied. Repairs will not be made for the purpose of utility activations. Okay, so just to let you know, that is how that works. The FHA repair escrow amounts are not a credit from the seller to the buyer. Escrow items represent the minimum property requirements as required by FHA to bring the property into standards that will allow it to meet FHA funding eligibility. All repair costs are financed into the mortgage and the responsibility of the buyer. So they're saying your repair escrow is going to go on top of our $279,000, and then that'll be your final loan amount for the property. Our purchase price, what we want for the property is $279,000. Your loan can be higher, and that's how those escrow holdbacks go. Of course, the house is going to have to appraise at a higher price to make that loan happen. So let's go on to the next one here. Mastering the HUD sales process. This is also in the disclosures for the realtor. There are some things in here which are real estate requirements for the realtor and not for the buyer. But there are some good things in here as a consumer that are good to know. And I'll just go through the things which you need to know. A HUD home is a 1 to 4 unit single family resident property acquired by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development after a foreclosure on an FHA insured mortgage. You probably already knew that. Subsequently, the HUD takes ownership of the property and assigns it to a field service company and asset manager. HUD REO properties are marketed at an appraised value and not solely for low-income housing. And then it talks about the asset manager. That's the company and the people who take care of the house in the field for HUD. So they go out and they lock the house up, make sure it's locked, and they do all these assessments of the property. Okay, that's real estate related. The selling agent role in the HUD process says the realtor needs to know how to put an offer in on HUD, and it tells you how to do that and how it needs a name identifier. I have one of those. I'm an associate broker for Silver Creek. If you want to write an offer on a HUD home, give me a call. We can start right now. Application require the following, and it tells you how to write the offer. You don't need to know that. Now this is what I wanted to show you. Who can buy a HUD home? An owner-occupant, an investor, a nonprofit, good neighbor next door, and government agencies. Good Neighbor Next Door is interesting. They don't have a lot of these homes. You can buy it for 50%, and we'll go over that down here in a bit, of the house value. But you have to be in police, military, fire, teacher, and you have to live there for 3 years. There's not a lot of them. I think if I search the United States, there's probably 1 or 2 right now. There was one in Palm Springs about 3 years ago, which is a nice house, though. Who cannot buy a HUD home? Listing brokers. So the listing broker of the house who has it for sale cannot buy these homes. Hey, this is a nice house. I think I'll buy it. They can't do it. their agents, anybody in that brokerage, immediate relatives of the broker and or agents. So that listing brokers, their agents, the immediate relatives of the broker and or agents. This exclusion is for all agents within the brokerage, regardless of the states that are serviced by NAID. Employees with the brokerage that may not handle HUD listings directly are still considered restricted from the purchase of a HUD home. So if you're the listing broker or a listing broker agent or the sister or the daughter, or the wife or the husband of the broker and or agents, good to know. Owner-occupant buyer given priority during HUD's exclusive listing period. Was this house in the exclusive listing period? No, it was not. Must occupy the home for 1 year. Cannot have purchased any HUD home in the past 24 months as an owner-occupant. Investors may bid during the extended listing period. No restrictions on the quantity of homes purchased. Note, individuals seeking to purchase a second home, including vacation homes, are considered investors. And then next here, the Good Neighbor. This is a neat program if you're a teacher. Let's go over it real quick because you might be buying a home through HUD's Good Neighbor Next Door initiative. Encourage renewal of revitalization areas, provided an opportunity for law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, teachers to purchase homes in communities. So it's not the military. I misspoke there. And teachers to purchase homes in the community they serve. HUD provides a 50% discount off all list price of eligible properties if the purchaser lives in the home for 3 years. The discount is prorated over 36 months. So what that means, if you sell it or refinance it within that 36 months, they're going to want their money back of that 50% discount that you had. And you want to have some fun real quick? Let me go over to the HUD site and see if there's any HUD Good Neighbors available. Okay, I'm at the HUD Home site. It's hudhomestore.gov. Anybody can go to this site. And if you look over here, it's a Good Neighbor program. And let's see if we can find any. One property in Michigan. Well, let's take a look. $110,000 to this house right here. It's on Pearl Street. And it's 110. They'll sell it to you for what? $55,000. And I guess if you lived in Lansing, Michigan, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, no HOA fees. Here's built in 1875. It is in a revitalization area, an opportunity zone, and it's $100 down eligible. So if you have a brother, sister, cousin, or somebody who works for those agencies in this town or around Lansing, Michigan, that might be a deal for you. Definitely not the one in Palm Springs, but, you know, HUD Home site might come up one in your neighborhood. You have to check. There's no way to put something on here to check it. I'm going to finish the HUD special program, the Good Neighbor out. Must be located in a designated revitalization area. Not all HUD properties will qualify. Buyer must live in the home for 36 months. Buyer nor spouse may have owned title to a property in the last 12 months. Good Neighbor program can only be utilized once by a purchaser. HUD requires the buyer to sign a second mortgage and note for the discount amount, which is overseen by HUD's loan servicing contractor. So if you sell before the 3 years, then you have to deal with those that department. Hang on. How do I know if the property is available for bidding? So you go to the HUD Home site, or you drive by the property and there's a sign in the yard, property be listed in the MLS, property listed on HUD Home Store. All bids are submitted through HUD Home Store. The property listing will be removed from the HUD Home Store after a bid is awarded and disclosed. Disclosures will not be available online for agent to access. Agent should download at the time of the bid. So all those forms the realtor has access to. If you're making a bid, he needs to download them, put them in a file. Some of them are for you to look at to get access to them because they will go away. But this applied this morning when I looked at this house. It said pending on the multiple listing service, but it said available on HUD Home Store. So an agent, a real estate agent, has a certain amount of time that they have to update their listings, 24 to 48 hours before they get in a lot of trouble. So it's probably supposed to be 24 hours, but you know, if you have a Sunday, who knows? This particular house was listed as, you saw it on Zillow, as pending. But at the HUD Home Store, it was available. But what good will it do you? I don't know. You could write an offer. They're going to open, it looks like they're going to open bids tomorrow. So they open bids after that first period where it's only available to owner occupants, usually about 15 days. Depends on whether the house was FHA insured or not. They open bids at the end of that period. So you get to bid once, you do your highest and best, put it in there and hope your bid is accepted. The next day, they'll start accepting bids from non-owner occupants unless they extend it, and they open those every day. Unless they have a special deal they're going to do, and they'll put it up on their site and tell you. So, you know, if you miss it and it goes up for bid again for everybody, well, you can put another bid in. You're not restricted on how many bids you can put in. So bids open on HUD Home Store. This is the date. This is the people who take care of the house will review and award the bids. Bids open date on this house was 4/24. Listing period is exclusive. And so submit your bid prior to this date, as this is also known as the offer selection date. Bids open 4/24. Let's go back to the house that we were looking at. Here it is right here. Property information. And down below here, I can't scroll down to it. It says it's uninsured, list price $279. And I'll have to go back to the HUD Home Store. Hang on. So this is pretty simple. You just click on the state, scroll down, grab the house. And it says 7 hours, 3 minutes remaining to bid. Just reading some of the things it has on here. 2 of 3 eligible. 8-1 was the list date. It's extended. It does say all bidders right here, 7 hours, all bidders. Because it extended, I was looking to see if they extended it for just owner occupants, but it says all bidders. So that's our HUD Home Talk for today. If you're interested in one of these houses, give me a call. Ken, Silver Creek Realty Group, Associate Broker, Idaho. The Real Estate Source in California, Associate Broker. And we can write bids on these. We can also finance these through AmeriPro Mortgage, myself. 855-363-22644 is my NMLS number. I usually use my partner, Deborah Witten, to do the financing. And Mortgage Pro, 30 years, since 2011 in AmeriPro Mortgage. Appreciate the business. Give me a call. I hope you're having a great day. And there are some videos attached to this. I want to put them up on YouTube next to it. This became almost a HUD Home Education talk. And it's been kind of a long one. I appreciate it if you're still here. We're at 56 minutes. And I will talk with you later. Bye.